Athens, 2004. Two Olympic boxers evenly matched, one's in red, one's in blue. The colors were assigned at random. Across boxing, taekwondo, and wrestling at those games, the fighter in red won noticeably more often. Same weight class, same rules, same training. The only difference was a coin flip over gear color. Two anthropologists at Durham, Russell Hill and Robert Barton, went through the tournament results bout by bout. Red won about 55 out of every 100 contests. Small, and far too consistent to shrug off. But here's what sharpens it. That gap wasn't spread evenly across every match. In lopsided bouts where one athlete was simply better, color did nothing. The better fighter won anyway. The edge showed up in the close ones, the bouts that could have gone either way, which is exactly where a thumb on the scale would show and nowhere else. Hold on to that, because this same color is about to turn up somewhere with no gloves involved. First, though, the obvious objection. Maybe referees were scoring red more generously without knowing it. Reasonable. So later, researchers showed taekwondo referees identical fight footage, digitally recolored afterward. Same kicks, same bodies, same tape, only the gear color swapped. The referees gave red more points. So part of this lives in the judge's eye, but that can't be the whole story. Because red also seems to do something to the person wearing it, not just the person watching. Keep that thread. It matters at the end, when this stops being about sport at all. Because a few years later, a psychologist named Andrew Elliott ran something that looks nothing like a boxing ring. He took one photograph of one woman. Ordinary photo, neutral expression, nothing dramatic about it. Then he printed it twice. Same face, same hair, same lighting, one on red, one on white. Not red lipstick, not a red dress, just a rectangle of color behind her head. Men saw one version each and rated how attractive they found her. The ones who saw the red border rated her higher, reliably, across repeated runs of the study. And it wasn't a general glow. This is the detail almost everybody skips past. They didn't rate her as kinder, or funnier, or smarter. Those scores stayed flat. Only attraction moved. Red didn't make her seem like a better person. It made her a more wanted one. Then Elliot and Daniela Niesta pushed it out of the questionnaire and into a room. A man's told he'll be chatting with a woman next door. He's shown her photo first, red border or white, at random. Then he's handed two chairs and asked to set them up. Nobody mentions distance. He just puts the chairs where it feels normal to put them. The men who'd seen the red version set their chair closer, measurably closer, inches, nobody announced. Another version, he chooses which questions to ask her from a prepared list. Some are flat. What's your favorite movie? Some are personal. What do you look for in someone? Red pushed the choices toward personal. Same woman, same list, different border. And here's the strange part, honestly, the reason this video exists at all. Afterwards, the researchers asked the men why. Why that chair? Why those questions? Not one of them mentioned the color. Not a single man in any version of the study. Instead, they talked about her. She had a nice smile. She seemed easy to talk to. They said they just got a good feeling off her. A couple got very specific about her eyes. Same face, described as warmer or duller depending on a rectangle nobody ever brought up. And when the background was raised directly, men waved it away. Obviously not. It was her. That's the whole thing in one line. The reaction landed first. The reason got built afterwards. You already know this feeling, even if you've never been near a lab. Two apartments, same layout, same rent, and you want the second one immediately. When a friend asks why, you tell them the light was better. Maybe it was. If that just reframes something for you, that's exactly what this channel is for. Stick around. Because this doesn't stay in a lab, it follows you out to dinner. In France, researchers ran a study across several restaurants over several weeks. Same waitresses, same shifts, same tables. The only thing rotating was the color of the shirt. Black, white, blue, green, yellow, red. Everything else held as steady as a working restaurant allows. Then they logged the tips. Real bills, real customers, nobody filling out a questionnaire afterward. When the server wore red, male diners tipped more. Depending on the comparison shirt, roughly 15 to 25% more. Female diners? Their tips didn't move. Same server, same shirt, same food, same everything. Flat. That's the tell. If red just made service feel nicer, everybody would have tipped more. The effect had a target. It ran in one direction, on one audience. And the men, naturally, believed they were simply rewarding good service. Attentive, friendly, quick with the check. Which leaves one question standing. Why would a color do any of this? Here's where it flips. Red was never about beauty in the first place. It isn't a decoration we invented. It's a signal our bodies have been broadcasting for millions of years. Under your skin, there's blood, and blood changes color depending on what your body's doing. Oxygen-rich blood near the surface reads red. Restricted, low-oxygen blood reads dull and slightly gray-green. Your face is a live readout of your circulation, running whether you want it to or not. Anger sends blood to the face. So does exertion. So does embarrassment. So does arousal. That's not a metaphor. That's plumbing. Vessels widening because a hormone told them to. And primates read this constantly. Plenty of species carry bare red skin exactly where it'll be seen. A mandrel's face. A macaque flushing in mating season. Color as a public status report. Human color vision is strange for a mammal, unusually tuned to the precise shifts bare skin makes. One argument says, we didn't sharpen that vision to find fruit. We sharpened it to read each other. Which makes a red shirt a forgery, not a lie you tell, a lie your eyes tell for you. It borrows a signal your nervous system already takes seriously and staples it onto fabric. And now the boxing makes sense. Red on a fighter reads like a face flooded with rage. Nobody consciously thinks that. The judge just sees someone who looks like they're winning. But a borrowed signal is a weak signal. And here I have to be straight with you. Red has been dragged through years of replication attempts, and it didn't come out clean. Bigger studies, run by other labs, sometimes found the effect shrunken. Sometimes they found nothing at all. One direct replication of the attraction result, with far more participants, came back essentially flat. Judo, where the colors are blue and white, showed no comparable edge in some reanalyses. And the field did what fields should do, larger samples. Predictions registered before the data came in. So is red fake? That's the lazy read, and it's wrong for a specific reason. Red isn't a switch. It's a nudge that only fires when the context already points that way. A red stop sign makes nobody attractive. Neither does a red rash. Context decides what red means, and the effect keeps surfacing exactly where it should. Close fights, romantic framing, men reading women. It disappears where it shouldn't apply. That pattern is much harder to fake than one big number. What survived is far smaller than the headlines claimed. Smaller, but it never quite disappeared. A thumb on the scale, not a hand. Close contests, though, are decided by thumbs, which is, honestly, more unsettling than a big, obvious effect would ever have been. A big effect you'd notice, you'd feel it land, and you'd correct for it. A small one just rides along inside a judgment that feels completely, obviously, entirely yours. And that's the piece worth carrying out of here, long after the studies fade. Every one of those men had a reason, a real, specific, sincerely held reason. Her smile, the service, a good feeling. None of them were lying. All of them were incomplete. Your explanations for what you like get written after the fact by a part of you that wasn't in the room. So the takeaway isn't wear more red. It's smaller than that and far more useful. Notice when a judgment arrives fully formed, a candidate you liked in 8 seconds, a room you warmed to instantly. Then ask yourself one boring question. What else was in the frame at that moment? The lighting, the chair, the shirt, the 3 seconds before anybody spoke. You won't get a clean answer. That's fine. You're not trying to overturn the judgment. You're just trying to notice that there was a vote you didn't cast. Because a stranger's snap read of you runs partly on a channel neither of you can hear. Same face, different border. That's how thin the wall is between a feeling and a reason. If this reframes something for you, like and subscribe. Next up, why you can't tickle yourself. See you there.